I do want to address the fact we are just about a quarter of the way through the NBA season, which is crazy because on the one hand, how did we get here so fast? And on the other, well, I mean, we have already had a boatload of stuff. Players setting insane scoring records. LeBron debuting as a Laker. Kawhi debuting as a Raptor. Ty Lue getting sent home. A couple of all-stars punching each other over spit. Magic Johnson first cursing out and then guaranteeing the employment of his head coach. The Wizards holding their annual Festivus airing of grievances months ahead of schedule. We had Carmelo Anthony being just sort of disappeared off the Rockets. KD and Draymond Green getting into an on-court argument that got Draymond suspended. J.R. Smith getting sent home. The Warriors making Fergie National Anthem remix dance videos. And Jimmy Butler getting traded. And, also, there has been a lot of basketball. In the East, this has meant watching the continued ascendance of Giannis, some beautiful play up in Toronto, and some uneven weirdness from the Celtics. In the West, well, it has basically meant watching a bunch of water buffalo fight blindfolded. Nearly every team is big and dangerous and bunched together in an unruly mess. Let's take a look, shall we, at what we at The Jump have started to call the way too early Western Conference standings. Yes, that is the Clippers at the top. And yes, that is 14 of 15 teams with records that are just a few games of each other. A quarter of the way through the season, and 14 teams, guys, still have a legit shot at those 8 playoff berths. And well, I'm no math major, but I'm pretty sure that if this holds, it will lead to some serious disappointment, nowhere more so than in Houston. The Rockets are in 13th place. They have lost 3 straight. And this is despite getting a bludgeoning performance out of James Harden last night. Not only did Harden drop 54 points, but Eric Gordon scored 36. That made them the first starting backcourt to score 90 in a game since back in 2006. Say it with me, Kobe Bryant scoring his 81 and, letting Smush Parker chip in for 13. And yet last night, the Rockets, they still lost. In fact, last night's game was a pretty good microcosm of the Rockets' season. This is a team so top-heavy that when the slightest breeze comes by, like, say, an injury or a suspension, the roster just can't handle it. And the stars trying to get the load, well, they're carrying it and they're exhausted. Last night, Daniel House, a player the Rockets had called up from the G League and who had never practiced with the team, played more than 28 minutes for them. Rookie Gary Clark, who is also on a 2-way contract, played 19 minutes. And yeah, we all expect GM Daryl Morey to make some moves once more players become tradable on December 15th, and some more moves once the buyout market materializes. But those are traditionally the kind of changes that can help tweak a good team into a contender. The Rockets are still working to find good. And well, we are a quarter of the way through the season. A lot has already happened. Time's ticking. So, Paul, we have been reluctant to ring the warning alarm on any of these teams saying, it's still early, small sample size. We're not that kind of show. But is it still too soon to panic about the Rockets' rocky start, or is it getting to be time to panic about the Rockets' rocky start?
No, you don't panic. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt, because as long as you have James Harden, Clint Capella playing at a high level, they have to get CP back healthy. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt. James Harden is an MVP caliber player. He was an MVP last year. So when you have great players like that, you don't quit on them that soon. He can carry his team to a playoff berth. He's that good. So it's not, you don't have to worry about the Rockets right now.
Well, you know what, Paul? The truth. My Inglewood buddy. You better start worrying about these guys right now. Something ain't right. And we talked about this last year during the summer, that when Trevor Ariza left, this team was going to have problems. And they are having big-time problems on the defensive end. We know they can score. But last year they had a defensive identity. This year they don't. CB being hurt is obviously something that hurts them as a basketball team. But overall, if I'm in Houston, I'm panicking. When you bring up a guy from the G League and you play him 28 minutes, that's panic. That is panicking, okay? So right now, they are panicking. They're trying to find some answers, and you hope they get it together, because I think we all know that this team is a team that can flat out play. They were a team that had Golden State on the ropes last year. But right now, if I'm in Houston, Yeah, I'm starting
it's
to panic
really
a little
showing
bit.
they don't have the depth.
Well, that's the
That's
thing.
for sure.
So they had an
I mean, they
injury
lose
during
one
the
of
game,
their stars.
right?
No,
and
you're
they had
right.
an injury during the
Absolutely.
game that led to him playing 28 minutes.
Right.
But still, an injury during the game shouldn't lead to someone who's never practiced with the team playing
Right.
28 minutes. And look, you said, Paul, when CP gets healthy, I love CP and what he can do
We
for
all
this
do.
team.
We all
older.
do.
Those injuries
But
don't heal as fast
that is
anymore.
gonna
Absolutely.
that is part of the bargain with him at this age. We talked about
Right.
this a lot. This is a guy who plays at 120%. So his body goes through ups and downs through the season. That is always going to be part of this equation for the Rockets at this point in his career.
Yes.
And I am worried sort of about the mix and the recipe, because you mentioned Trevor Ariza. And I know people look at the Phoenix right now and they're like, it's not like Trevor Ariza is making the Suns burn up the standings, right? And his defensive numbers aren't great in Phoenix. But
he
y'all
was a
know it's
glue
all
guy.
about the
He's a
mix,
glue
right?
guy. Me and
It's
Tom
about the
Chemistry.
mix.
about this all the time. He
Chemistry.
is a glue guy.
Yeah,
Right?
chemistry
They're
is
missing that.
Right?
Chemistry is so important in the NBA.
It's when you put all those pieces
Oh,
together,
it's so
right?
important. Yeah, and they're
So-
missing that, and it just doesn't look like the same team.
No, it doesn't.
You know,
It doesn't.
from a team that really seemed to be together and focused and liked
They
each
don't
other
have that-
last
they're
year.
missing that swagger.
They don't have that swagger or that chemistry, and I think that's really hurting them.